Am I live or not? I don't know. Am I live? Am I live or not? This is so weird. Seems like I am live. Seems like that. Yeah, I am live. Okay. Okay, everyone. So today I'm gonna read Tell Me Why Manorama Tell Me Why 27th book, which is about revolutions. I'm gonna read the 85, 82 page because I have read all the previous pages. So what it says is, how did coal mining accelerate the industrial revolution? The Britain Britain has massive resources of coal, and this was another important factor in ushering or what is it how to call it Us, ushering in industrial revolution in Britain. Coal was needed to drive the steam engine and for the other industrial processes. The coal field was located deep underground and were often flooded. James Watt new steam engines was really effective for draining the mines and keeping them free from flooding. This happens to increase coal production. Why was the massive production of iron important? In early times, machines were made up of wood. However, more complex machinery needed a strong material like iron. For example, the steam engine, which played a key role in bringing about industrial revolution, had to construct it from iron. Luckily, Bri- Luckily Britain had plentiful supplies of irons. A small iron industry sorry a small what is it a small industry excited even before industrial revolution, and with increasing demand of iron during revolution its mass production became very important. How was steam power developed? During the industrial revolution, steam power replaced water power as main source of power in use in the industry. Its first use was to pump water from mines. An Indian military engineer Thomas Savery designed the first steam engine, but it was not very what is it efficient. Later, Thomas Newcomb, an English blacksmith, invented the atmospheric steam engine, which was improvement over Thomas Savery's previous design. In 1765, James Watt, while working for the University and Glasgow, Glasgow was assigned the task of repairing Newcomb engine. He started to work on several improvements to design. This modified version gave engines the power to become driving force behind the industrial revolution. Steam power was not only used in engine but also in furnaces and other factory appliances that was difficult to implement before the invention of steam power. Star fact: children and factories. Children as young as 4 years old worked hard work do sorry children as young as 4 years old work hard hours during the industrial revolution for little or no pay. In fact, they sometimes worked up to 19 hours a day with just an hour break in between. Not only were not only were these children subject to long hours, but they so worked in horrible conditions using large, heavily and dangerous equipment. It is a wonder that many accidents occurred, injuring and killing these little children. What is it happening? Why it is showing that YouTube is not receiving enough video maintained smoothness streaming such as viewer will experience buffering? Why? Why is that? Why I'm getting this problem on my stream? What is happening? Let me check one thing. I hope. No, I don't think that there's any. No, there's no anything bitrate problem. I don't see any problem with that. Why it is happening? What was the changes in road system? Improving the state of road required money, so system of collecting tolls from travelers was introduced. Entire sections of roads were repaired and travelers had to pay to use those parts of road where improvement had been carried out. This proved quite profitable, and these were many who were eager to improve roads as means of making money. New methods of building and maintaining road were so developed. Road were now sprayed with tar to make them waterproof. These roads were called macadamism, macadamized, macadamized, macadamized roads. After John McAdam, who developed the process, almost finished the work of road. Now we can think about the toll booth. Okay. Hmm. What next? What was the role of canal during industrial revolution? Canals were main Canals were man-made rivers. They were needed for the industrial revolution, which was creating huge amount of heavy goods that had to be moved. Roads simply could not handle such weights, and the vehicle needed to move and the vehicles needed to move this produce did not what is this and vehicle needed to move this produce this man. What's happening here? I see I'm having some frame drops. I don't know why. What is happening? It's saying that I'm having frame drops, which is really unexpected. Now it is showing stream is healthy. Okay. So where I was, and the vehicle needed to move this produce this and the vehicles needed to move this produce did not exist. Canals were the answer to moving heavy object large distance. Canals could not make vast system of money for those who invested in them. In the 1790s, this so-called canal mania took place when people invested their money into practical every canal project. Canals were good and moving fragile goods such as pottery, and also heavy goods such as coal. By 1890, there was nearly 4,500 miles of canals in Britain. Yet within year their great Yet within year their great days were over. The, their trains were to take over the role played by canals. Spinning jenny. The spinning jenny, the spinning jenny was machine that could spin. Wait. This is a big problem. Okay, I thought there's one program running at my background that was creating that problem, but I was wrong about it. Now everything is looking fine. The spinning jenny was a machine that could spin several threads of wool at one time. James Hargreaves, Hargreaves, Greaves Grievous. Herr Grievous invented it in 1970. In the beginning, it could spin 8 thread at once, but later could sign 120 threads simultaneously, which rapidly increased production because by hand and person can spin only one thread at a time. How did railways develop? Did you know that the first train were just horse-drawn wagons that were pulled along wooden plank? Road hop rail called wagonsways were being used in Germany as early as 1550. By 1776, iron had replaced the wood in rail and wheels on cart. Wait, what is happening? How are I getting this type of messages this late night? This makes no sense. Really make no sense. Anyway, no problem. Wagons were being used in Germany as early as 1550. By 1776, iron had replaced the wood in the rail and wheels on the carts. Horse still provided all the pulling power. George Stephenson is considered to be the inventor of first steam locomotive. Wait, George Stephenson, okay, is the considered to be the inventor of the first steam locomotive engine for railways. In 1825, Stephenson gathered with Stephenson together with his son Robert built rocket and locomotive which could reach speed of 448 km per hour. With the coming of railways, raw material and finished good could transported to and from factories were very cheaply and quickly, and this gave great impetus to industrial revolution. What were the working conditions in factories and mines like? Working hours were long in factories. The factory overseas were harsh and sometimes cruel in their effort to make the workers produce more. The conditions in mines were even worse. Through the miners through the miners received higher wages, the factory workers they had to work in darkness, hauling heavy loads of coal along the tunnels for hours of end. It was miserable, dangerous life, and for the workers in mines and factories, industrial revolution offered little to cheer about. Why was the role of reformers a difficult one? The reformers were people who were horrified by working conditions in factories and mines during the Industrial Revolution. They were determined to change them. However, the most of the factory and mine owners were not prepared to listen to them. They argued that the government had no right to interfere in running a factory, and the better condition would ruin the business. They insisted that they insisted that they be left alone, and many years the government listened to them and blocked any laws that would have protected people at work. However, they did succeed in bringing new laws that gave some protection for women and children in textile industry. Who was Robert Owen? Robert Owen, the son of Slater and Ironmonger, became one of the most successful mill owner of the Industrial Revolution with reputation as the producer of fine cotton. However, it was not as successful as a successful and respected businessman that he left his mark on his on history. But as one of the most prominent, prominent, prominent social reformers of the period, To begin with, Robert Owen wanted to sort, shorten the working day from 13 to 10 hours, but under pressure from his partner, he had to increase it to 14 hours. He also wanted to improve the living condition of his workers. He began by improving the existing houses and building new ones, paving the street of introducing system of street cleaning. All the private shops were closed, and the company store was improved and profit used to open a free village school, a system of local government which was introduced, and fines were imposed for dark, drunk, drunkenness so that the worker themselves become more responsible and sober. Mass production outstanding fact about the industrial revolution is this that opened an age of mass production for needs of the masses. Goods were manufactured for not for the rich but for the common people, so they had to be cheap and made in great quantities. And new method of great qualities, a new method of a new method of qualities and new method of manufacturing had introduced to make this happen. The inventors, oh my god, the invention of power driven machine was the key factor in making mass production possible. What was the cooperative movement? A cooperative enterprise is one of the owned by its member. The profit and the benefits were divided amongst the member who were generally ordinary people or workers. The cooperative movement began in Europe in 19th century, primarily in Britain and France. Robert Owen is considered the father of cooperative movement. What was the protest of Luddites? 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 I don't know what is this means. The Luddites were the social movement of British textile. Okay, architect, art, architects in the early 19th century who protested often by destroying textile machines against changing the produced by industrial revolution that felt threatened their jobs. Thousands of machines were smashed with hammer called wait, wait. Oh yeah, the Great Enoch. The violence of Luddites alarmed both factory owners and government, and the government crushed the movement ruthlessly. What were the issues in industrial towns? During 19th century, towns and cities grew rapidly because of industrialization. Workers lived close to factories and they had to work long hours and traveling was difficult. Cities were filled to overflowing and London was particularly bad. Most cities were not prepared for this great increase in people. People crowded in already crowded houses. Rooms were rented to whole families or perhaps several families. There were no running water or toilets. A whole street would have the a whole street would have to share an outdoor pump and couple of outside toilets. Chimneys, bridge, and factory smoke blocked out most of the light in towns. A layer of dirty smoke often covered the street like blanket. Conditions like this were perfect breeding ground for disease. More than 31,000 people died during an outbreak of clo- cholera. 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 It's a disease. Yeah, I know the disease, but I don't know how to pronounce this disease name. In 1832, a lot more were killed by typhus, smallpox, and dysentery. How did the Industrial Revolution change the world? The Industrial Revolution was a period of technological development that took place in Great Britain from the the mid 70s through the mid 1800s, eventually spreading through European and United States. The Industrial Revolution brought about economic and social changes as a result of move from hand tools to power tools and from small scale production to large production. Before the 18th 1800s, products were crafted with simple machines or by hand in small shops or in homes. This shift to manufacturing in factories caused people to leave rural areas for urban centers, eventually creating overcrowded and populated cities. Britain enjoyed great prosperity, and in United States industrial boom. There was also a steady influx and immigrants who came to permanently settle in America and supplied a workforce for factories that sprung up in most major cities. The Industrial Revolution was over, giving away a new era, a new way of life. Other revolutions. What was the revolution? Over 200 years ago, a great slave revolution shook the ancient Roman Empire. At the height of its power, Roman controlled colonies from Spain to Turkey, from the Alps to Sahara. The backbone of Rome's prosperity was the slaves, who were bought and sold like cattle and were treated like cattle too. The slave revolt the slave revolted against the clemency of their master. Under the leadership of slave called Spartacus, through the Rome army crushed the rebellion. The heroism of Spartacus and his band of slaves were fought unsuccessfully there for their freedom inspired us this day. What was the August Revolution? The August Revolution of 1945 is one of the most important events in national history of Vietnam. On August 14, 1945, the Japanese surrendered their holding in Vietnam. This was an opportunity that was not been missed by Ho Chi Minh, the Vietnam leader. On August 1945, several citizens of Honai, under direction of Vietnamese Communist Force led by Ho Chi Minh, began the August Revolution. This would be the first step towards liberation, near destruction, and ultimate reti- uh, revitation of Vietnam. After the August Revolution, Ho declared Ho declared the Democratic Republic of Vietnam on September 1945. Why was the Indonesian Revolution unique? The Indonesian Revolution was a struggle power between the Indonesian nationalists and the Dutch who were their rulers. The struggle lasted for over 4 years and involved armed conflict. Finally, Dutch surrendered the terrorists and the Republic of Indonesia was established in 1949. Revolution refers to revolution that led to the overthrow of General Batista's regime, which was supported by United States. The starting point of revolution is on July 26, 1945, 1953. Revolutionaries were commanded by Fidel Castro Che Guevara. Eventually, Batista fled to Spain and Castro force occupied the city, bringing their military victory to, to a close. Cuban Revolution was turning point in recent history. With Castro's regime in place, Cuba became an important player in Cold War between United States and Soviet Union. Communication revolution during 19th century saved a series of technological innovation dramatically reshaped the way people communicate at global level. New means of communication speeded the pace of life and increased trade and the exchange of ideas. Should I end it here or should I continue? I think there are how many pages left? I think I can end it here. I can end it today because I'm not liking the revolution things as I earlier said it. Although there's only how many pages? One, two, three, four. There are 4 pages, I think. I was wondering, should I read it here or should I keep it for the next stream? I don't know. Let's complete it today. I think no need to keep it like for the next stream. I can keep it for the next stream also, but I don't know what should I do. The German Revolution. The German Revolution began. Wait. Let me move my microphone over here so that you can hear me clearly. The German Revolution. The German Revolution began on 29th October 1918 when sailors at Kiel refused to obey the order and engage in battle with British Navy. By 6 November, the revolution had spread to the Western Front and all major cities and ports in Germany. On 9th November 1918, the ruler Kaiser Wilhelm II abdicated and Chancellor Max von Baden handed power over Friedrich 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 Ebert, the leader of German Social Democratic Party. The German Revolution was bloodless revolution. Only 15 people lost their lives. What was the Orange Revolution? The Orange Revolution was a series of protests and political events that took place in Ukraine from late November 2004 to January 2005. It was sparked by massive corruption that took place during presidential election in 2004. Kyiv, the Ukraine capital, was the center of movement with through protesters demonstrating. Daily movement got it name from hundreds of orange flags and banners that were waved by protesters. Why orange? It was because bright orange is the color of our Ukraine, the party of Viktor you see, Yushchenko. Yushchenko. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing names correctly because obviously it is not my language and these names are belongs to the native languages. I mean, they can speak it properly, not me. But I'm trying my best. Don't worry about it. The respected leader of Ukrainians. The national-wide protest succeeded when the result of elections were annulled, and Ukraine's Supreme Court ordered a revolt for December 26, 2004. Why was the Hungarian sorry Why was the Hungarian Revolution unique? The Hungarian Revolution was rebellion in 1956 against government of Hungarian, which was backed by Stalin in Russia. It it began as student demonstration, and the protest spread quickly. The entire nation appeared to have taken up arms against Rigmi. Rebels who were often aimed with nothing more than kitchen implements, implements and gasoline were disabling Soviet tanks. But Soviet force launched a major attack on Hungary aimed at crushing and spontaneous national uprising. An estimated 2,500 Hungarians died, and over 2 lakh fled the country. The revolution has failed. White Revolution. The White Revolution was the largest dairy development program to have been successfully initiated and executed in the whole world. It was started in India by Dr. Varghese Varghese Kurian. Varghese Kurian. Kurian. And it was through his effort that India became the largest milk product sorry and it was through his effort that India became the large milk producer in the world. He launched Operation Flood, which involved almost 117 million people, and became the world's largest dairy development program. Under this program, more than 6 million dairy farms across 70,000 villager cooperatives came together to produce and sell milk and milk product across India. How did Rose Revolution get its name? The Rose Revolution was a bloodless revolution that took place in Georgia in 2003 after parliamentary elections were held on November 2, 2003. However, election was rigged in favor of presidential Shevardnadze. The opposition urged Georgians to demonstrate against Shevardnadze's government and engage in non-violent civil disobedience against the authorities. The opposition protest reached its peak. Peak. Where is the peak? The opposition protest reached its peak on November 22 when the opposition burst into session of parliament with rose in their hand, interrupting a speech of President Eduard Srivardhanese. Finally, President announced his resignation. Recognition? No, not it's not recognition. Resignation that prompted night-long celebration by over 100,000 protesters in the street of Tbilisi. What was the Cedar Revolution? The Cedar Revolution was a chain of demonstration in Lebanon, triggered by the assassination of former Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik Hariri on February 14, 2005. The leaders of this revolution demanded that Syria withdraw its troops from Lebanon, and that an international commission should investigate the assassination of the former prime minister. As a result, Syria troops withdrew from Lebanon. The revolution was named after cedar tree which featured on the Lebanese flag. Why was Italian revolution famous? In Italy or Italy, 1848 was definitely a year to remember. It was a year when the people of Italy joined together to try to form one large country under one rule, an Italian rule. It was inspired by nationalism and by great leader named Giuseppe Mazzini. Italy at this time was divided into many different states. Austria ruled some part, while other part were independent states. The Pope also ruled the part of Italy. The revolution began when citizens in Milan planned to quit using tobacco or play lottery as of January 1st, 1848. Both these items were heavily taxed and fed the Austrian treasury. Australian soldiers, angry at succeed of protest, shot and killed 61 Italians. Soon uprising took place in numerous towns and cities. We can say that the Italian Revolution in 1848 was expression of the Italian desire to united and freed of foreign rule. Unfortunately, sputtered out. However, the Italian nationalist movement who trumpets within 20 years. What was the July Revolution? The French Revolution of 1830, also known as July Revolution, was revolted by middle class against Bourbon King Charles X, which was forced him out of office. He was replaced by the Louis Philippe. There was another famous July Revolution also. It took place in Egypt on July 23, 1952. A group of young army officers tried to overthrow King Farouk I and established a republic. We are almost near to the end of this book. What are the contributions of agriculture revolution? The agriculture revolution occurred between 1750 and 1900. When the way in which farms produce food changed in the early part of the 18th century, most farmers had strips of land that they would grow their food on. This system had many disadvantages. Bank of earth separating the strip were wasted, land drainage was poor, and because the farmers knew little about fertilizer, they had to leave a land unused every 4 years. By the early 19th century, things started to change. Farmers were beginning to use the rotation system. This system meant that no land had remained fallow. Each area of land would be split into four sections. The crops that was grown on each field would be rotated. Rotated. Okay. So the different nutrients would be taken from the land. As the demand for food increased, people began to make improvements to types of machine used on farms. A seed drill and threshing machine being among the first new innovation to help farmers. What what was the Green Revolution? Sorry. What was the Green Revolution? The Green Revolution is general one. Wait, the term Green Revolution is general one that is applied to successful agriculture experiments in many third world countries, and it was most successful in India. Between 1960 and 1970, farmers in India became more technological aware. They were taught to use better seeds, irrigate more land, and use pesticides and fertilizer to increase food production. The most spectacular event in India agriculture during the current century, perhaps the millennium, has been introduction of drop high yield versatiles of wheat. The new versatiles had more than double the existing yield. In fact, in many cases, there was no place to store its sudden flood of grain. Schools in rural Punjab were closed down to store the new harvested in classrooms. The, the Great Revolution is doubly doubt doubt doubtly doubt doubtly I don't know how doubtly or should I get doubtly a great Indian success story. Okay, there is another thing. I mean, completely different from this chapter. It is a I wonder why. The question of the month. Aren't there are many little things you have wondered about, but do not know whom to ask? Send us your questions and we will give you the fascinating reason behind the incredible mystery of life. I can send a message to them and they might reply my question, but uh, at the age of internet it is very easy to get the answer whichever we want. And nowadays we are having a chat GPT also, so that's a positive point as well. But still I'm gonna read somebody have asked the question, so what that person has asked. Let's see. Why is speed at sea measured in knots? Oh, I didn't knew that. In in sea, speed is measured in knots. Early sheep was Early sheep calculated speed by using log. It was a log of wood weighted at one end with another end fixed to long piece of rope. The log thrown over the stern of the ship floated and rope were let out. The ship sailed on. The sheep of sheep what the speed of sheep could be calculated by seeing how much rope had been let out in given time. In later years, knots were tied at equal distance along the rope. Sailor counted how many knots passed through his hand, and in a certain time the grave gave the speed of ship. Sailor come to use the word knots to mean speed of ship. Today the knot has come to mean one nautical or mile per hour. A nautical mile equals 1.852 kilometer, a little bit more than a land mile. Imagine the ship is sailing at speed of 50 knots. This means that it is sailing at speed of 15 nautical miles a hour or 28 kilometers per hour an hour. Log are still used to show how fast ship is traveling, but today logs used as special metal rod with flat blades around them. As the ship sails through the water, the metal rod rotates and twists the rope around with the metal rod rotates and twists rope round and round. The shipping rope works a device back on ship and shows the actual speed. So finally, I end this book. I mean, I read every chapter, everything from this book, and there's nothing left that I have missed. So I'm gonna end the stream here, and I might read something different. I thought reading a informative book like this might help me reading, but unfortunately it's come to my attention that I'm not getting any clear vision what I am even reading, because there are so many words that I don't know much about, and it is not a general word, not a regular using words. These are the tough words that hardly been used in our day-to-day life. So I'm not gonna read these books anymore. Not because these books are not good. No, these books are fascinating, these books are amazing. But right now I'm not at that level to read this book to get the complete information. So I will not gonna read this book right now. For few months, might be later I might write. And I strongly suggest everybody to read this book. But if you are not good at it, then I will suggest, please improve your English, read it, read other books, improve your vocabulary and things like that, and then come to this book and you will gonna enjoy every single bit of words in this book. So I'm gonna end the stream here and I will talk to you all later. So until then, take care. Okay, bye.